Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Well, now I have our host, Juan, insisting that you challenge me and ask tough questions. He didn't do that yesterday, did he? I think it's, that was just for me. So I'm going to talk about the Washington Post. This is what was said by Jimmy Fallon, a comedian here. The CEO of Amazon walked in and bought the Post for $250 million. He just said, add to cart. Now, this is not actually true. He actually bought this in a private sale, but it has been transformational. And I think that, so to Juan's point, when I sort of look at the list of things that you are talking about today, the Washington Post is indicative of every one of those things. So we're going to talk about, I think, hopefully it'd be useful to talk about the principles and how we're approaching it. There's no right or wrong, it's just this is how we're approaching it under Bezos' ownership. And I'm going to leave a lot of time for questions because I think the best part is the dialogue and the communication that we have. Our principles are you'll recognize these from Bezos and his other ventures. Put the customer first. It's very simple, it sounds simple, but it actually sometimes in practice is hard to do because you think about ad revenues. And are you putting your consumer first? Is one of the things we do, so put the customer first. Because we have so much ad revenue driving our papers, we don't always do that. We put the advertiser first, but we believe you have to put the consumer first. Invent and experiment, we'll talk a lot about that. And there's a lot of learnings around that. And be patient. And so what that patience means, we'll talk about that a little bit. So the first thing to always start with is a goal, because you have to be clear on what you're trying to do. And this is also a little bit gets into the reason of why Jeff Bezos bought the Post. So we think about the axes of success. So what dimensions do we need to be successful on to succeed long term? And our long-term future is going to be digital, right? That's going to be clear to all of us. Print's a very important, we call it a long, strong bridge to tomorrow. But because it's long, because we have to have time to grow digital. It's strong because it generates lots of incremental profits. But what are we going to go to in the end? What are we going to drive towards? The first is excellence in journalism. The Washington Post, we're known for that. But importantly, Jeff Bezos came into the Post and said, I want you to continue that. We want to invest more in journalism because in a world of noise, it matters. If you have great storytelling, is the key to all media. It always has been. You have to have great stories. You have to have information that you didn't know. You have to have something that's surprising. It has to be entertaining. And you'd like to have someone say, is it true? Call me old-fashioned, but right, it matters if it's true. Is it verified? So journalism is actually the foundation of what we do. Very, very important that someone who's a tech billionaire comes in and says, yes, that is actually important. At the same time, excellence in engineering, and I use the word engineering consciously, not IT, not technology, engineering, but it means to think like a digital product company because our big competition, they are digital product companies. But uniquely, why we think we have a potential for success and why I think the key reason Jeff Bezos bought us is the Washington Post can actually possibly be truly world-class on both axes. And we actually believe we need to be in order to succeed because there are great technology companies who are learning and investing. We can downplay them now and say, oh, they don't care about content. Well, they'll get there. And there are great journalism companies trying to have a race to become great technology companies. We believe we can be the best at both. So we're undergoing a transformation through engineering. So this is actually a specific sort of methodology, and there's a lot to be learned about this, and I'm learning a lot from our people and our engineers about how the engineers think about the world. I'm not an engineer by training, but you'll see why. Here's a great thing that I think Bezos says about innovation, invention, change happen through team effort. There's not a lone genius that figures it out. You study, debate, and brainstorm. The answers start to emerge, and it takes time. Very importantly, it isn't like Jeff Bezos comes down with the stone tablets and says, that the skies open up, and he says, here's how you're going to succeed. It is a process that we're engaged in, and it's the process I want to talk about because I think it's the process that leads to successful innovation.